Liberia. 3 minutes. That's 10 minutes down 3 p.m. This is how I love to welcome you to the week's edition of this week of Reliable Info 360, hosted by Honorable Eugene Lamin Fagon, former Deputy Minister of Press and Public Affairs, the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism. We'd love to welcome you to the week's first edition of Reliable Info. Honorable Fagon, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dharma, and let me say good morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You just
Thank
have
you
to be a
very
bit
much.
audible, that's all. Oh, you get cool?
Small cool. Yeah, the rainy season in Liberia giving us cool right now. I'm in
Rain season
Liberia.
affecting you.
Yeah, I'm in Liberia. It's just that I don't show face on the streets.
So how you doing your up and down?
My brother, I think the wish I can fly.
Mm.
I use a big size drone to operate. But anyways, it's nice to be with you. I'm currently under the weather. But it's good to be with you. And let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our many listeners, wherever you are, especially Liberians in the diaspora, Liberians back home, whether you're in Kipma, Bombing, or Bapolu, Lofabong or Nimba, Maryland, Sino, River Says River G, Monserrato, Magidi, Sino, of course, wherever, Grand Bassa, wherever you find yourself. We say pleasant good afternoon. And I will go back to Diamond to find out Diamond is not going to leave this team with my one because, quote, Diamond, what you got today, man?
Well, today is the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Substance or World Drug Day, if you want to call it that way, June 26th every year since it was enacted or, adopted by the United Nations General Assembly. So on today, the former Vice President and standard bearer of the Unity Party, Ambassador Joseph Yuman Bwaka, had a press conference where he addressed the nation through the press and termed the illicit use of drugs in our country as a national emergency. He has termed it as a national emergency. And he addressed and said that there should be much more done when it comes to substance abuse in our country, as we see an increasing number of drugs addicts in our country. And they're not just causing us, harm, but they're also, causing a lot of money to be lost because these are people who could have been productive in our country. And because of some of their activities, businesses that should run, for longer hours have to close. People have to go home early because you don't want to be caught on the street when it gets dark. You might just be robbed or something else might happen to you worse than that. And also the government through Minister Twe has revealed that the president has also taken key notice of the issue of drugs abuse and street children, as we call them, street people in Liberia, if you want to term it that way. And they should come up with a national plan within 60 to 90 days to address the issue of drugs and substance abuse and street people in our country. So the government is going to come up with a 60 to 90-day plan as to how to come up with a solution, a long-lasting solution to drug abuse. I'm trying to curb drug abuse and illicit substance abuse in our country. Also, what's trending is you suspend
Hey,
me, we
Diamond,
reinstate.
wait, before you go further, hold on, man. Hold on. Don't run me down. I'm too old. Just help me. Help the old man understand something right now. It's Samuel Twe, the finance minister, who spoke today and who
No,
said
it wasn't
something to you.
today. It wasn't today.
When did he say this?
It was last week.
Last week. Okay, today is the day of it's the National Drug Abuse Day, illicit substance, what have you. What have the
Mhm.
president said?
So I haven't heard anything from the executive mansion. I'll have to check that up in real time to see what has been addressed. But I did see a picture of the president wearing a somewhat black beret with the party emblem on it. You know,
That's the Barrett
um,
challenge. He
yeah.
put a challenge up for the Barrett challenge.
So let me check that out quickly from the executive mansion, e-mansion, and see what has been said by the government. But Minister Twelve was conveying a message from the president. He was conveying a message, from the president, and said they need to come up with a plan
They
as to
need to
how to.
come up with a
They are
plan.
going to come up with a plan.
They are
Yeah,
going to come up with a plan, meaning they
yeah,
still don't have a plan after 6 years,
yeah.
after
So they're
$100 million
set
drug
to.
bust.
So the president has set the target of 60 to 90 days for the committee. So he has come up with a committee for 60 to 90 days to address the national crisis of at-risk youth, what we call in Liberia as Zogos. So the president has declared the alarming surge in the number of vulnerable youths throughout the country as a pressing matter that deserves urgent attention. Yeah. So he said it's
Uh,
also a national security threat. It's a national security threat, especially to the upcoming elections in our country, to have such a large number of vulnerable youth, all around the country. So
but
he
let
has,
me ask, dude, if today is the day, the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency, LDEA, what program did they have today in commemoration of the day?
so I can call the LDEA spokesperson, Chipley,
Please do
to
while we
know
are on the air.
what they have lined up. I'm also checking the executive mansion page to see what special message did come from the president. The last update year is from June 18th. Yeah, the last update year on the executive mansion page is from June 18th. So the president has set up a committee to see how best they can come up with trying to come up with a plan of this whole vulnerable youth, at risk youth.
This is quite disturbing. The commemoration of the day, nothing comes from the
Mhm.
government, nothing comes from the LDEA, no program to kind of display drugs that have been seized, people that have been arrested. This is the day. This is quite disturbing. You attended the conference, the press conference, correct?
I was in the compound, but I didn't enter the conference hall because we already had someone representing us. But I have a copy of the speech that was delivered by the former vice president and standard bearer of the Unity Party.
Yeah, we will come to that. Well, you were in the compound. Who were some of those you were able to pick up with your eyes that everyone is talking about?
Yeah, so I did see Senator James P. Biney of Maryland County. He was there. Madam Magdala Cooper, known as Rescue Ente,
Mhm.
was also there. Madam Ponce Mape, if I got her name right, Cecilia Ponce Mape, also, if I got her name right. She was also there. The chairperson of the Unity Party was also present. Those were the few that I could pick up with my eyes, that I recognized. Yeah.
We should have our guests from the NPP. Are they around? Have they entered the
Yeah, the
studio?
year we're getting them seated and all strapped up for their appearance.
Okay, before they come in, he talked about 866 ghettos around the place. He talked about light poles with strings and sneakers hanging, indicating that there's a ghetto around the area. He talked about programs when he become president, what he's going to do about the drugs. But most importantly, for me, was that he was going to declare war on drugs. That is what I took from his statement, and maybe we'll go into that. But Diamond, this is very disturbing for me. On this day, all I'm seeing from the president is I have accepted the Barrett challenge. All I saw from the vice president is that I have accepted the Barrett challenge.
Mr.
I,
Fagon, 1 minute quickly concerning the observance of International Drugs Day. So
mhm,
I got a report from Maryland County, from our Maryland County correspondent, that the
yes,
Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, the LDEA, is expected to, at the time he sent this message, it was somewhere around 9 a.m. this morning. So I need to inquire from him whether or not they've carried out that particular exercise. But the LDA was expected to burn more than 7 million Liberian dollars worth of illicit drugs in a township called Philadelphia Township in Harper City, Maryland County, as they observe the World International Drugs Day. So I need to get back to him to know whether or not that exercise, has been done with, and I'll let you know as well. So that was what he sent in as an update this morning from Harper City, Maryland County.
But at least the guys from Harper are trying to do something, which they could have done it today. But I am saddened. I'm taken aback. $100 million worth of drugs, $40 million worth of drugs, $7 million worth of drugs. And that's what Joe Parker said. Our country has become a transit point for drug. But on the day we are supposed to display a force against drugs, illicit drugs, drug barons, drug dealers, and to even do something. And our president is in a beret competition with his partisans. And the vice president too. Go on Carrasco page. You will see it there. I'm very disturbed. I'm honestly disturbed. Because it does not tell well of us. Having been accused, we're supposed to do better than that, Damo. And is that do you feel a sense of where people are discussing it in the public?
I'm not getting you, Mr. Fagon. You're coming in a bit distorted because we have internet issue. Yeah. So if you can repeat the question.
I say, is it like people are somewhat talking about it publicly?
What exactly are they talking about that you're asking me, sir?
The issue of drugs in the country, and today being International Drug Abuse Day.
Well, so this day actually is one of the it's on the low key though. To be honest with you, there's not so much buzz about this. Many people are not even aware that today is the International Drug Day, especially when it comes to war against drug and other illicit substances, use. So many people are not aware of this particular day. But when it comes to the issue of drugs and people talking about drugs, it has been something that has been ongoing
That's
since.
our everyday thing.
Everybody, some way, somehow, has been affected by this issue of drug abuse, whether directly or indirectly.
What else do you have on your plate? And by the way, I like your shirt. Anyway, you're a designer down in the country, so that doesn't matter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look at your design. What else do you have on your plate in the country today?
Yeah, so we did get a press release late last night. I have a copy. Is more of a dossier. This is the press release from the NPP. You can see the number of pages here.
Signature pages for the most part.
Yeah, signature pages of 1,021 partisans of the NPP
Jesus.
supposedly have signed to reinstate the chairman, James P. Binding, that's reaffirming that he is the only legitimate chairman that they recognize. Not reinstating, but reaffirming. Yeah, reaffirming. The word is reaffirming. Reaffirming that he is the only legitimate chairman after he was supposedly expelled, by a faction they've termed as the Jewel Howard Taylor faction of the NPP. So this is the document, and all of these pages are signature pages. There's only one cover page. The rest are signature pages. But we have the guys from the NPP here to speak more to this matter. And as I said, Senator Biney was at the press conference, in the compound of the former vice president there in rehab.
Are they set and ready now? Because my understanding is you have Jefferson S. Tucker, National Youth Chairman, National Patriotic Youth Council, and you have Augustine Capper, the National Vice Chairman for Finance and Investment. Are those the two people you have in studio?
Yes, they're here and they set. again, we should all be aware that we'll have some issues with the network, whether it's due to the weather or it's due to some other external factors. But the signal is not so strong. It's not the strongest right now. So we'll have people buffering and all of that.
External factors, I will say. What's your choice?
Whatever there is a factor, whether natural phenomenon or external, something's got our signal like the way it is.
They in the car outside there. Go look for that black car. They in it, and they in the back seat. But anyway, having said that, good afternoon, gentlemen. Welcome to Spoon Talk. You have my co-host and
Spoon
anchor.
Talk.
No. Reliable Info
Yeah,
360. Damo, don't start. I'm excited, having the National Vice Chair of the NPP as well as the National Youth Chair of the NPP. What else? I'm excited to have them and let them tell their story. So, Dama, I will turn it over to you so you can welcome them and ask them to tell us a little bit about themselves.
Okay, so guys, as you said, you're welcome. You're no stranger to the Spoon Studios. You were here when Senator Biden appeared. Either one of you or both of you. We're here when he appeared. Once again, you're welcome. This is your debut on Reliable Info 360. We'll look forward to having you guys once the opportunity and the need arises. So, to you, Mr. Augustine Capet, Vice Chair on Finance and Investment. So, we want to know a bit about you before we proceed to the National Chairman of the NPYC. Yeah. Okay.
Good afternoon. I want to say thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be in your studio. We are glad to be here. I'm Elo Augustine Escape, National Vice Chair for Finance and Investment of the NPP.
All right. So, how long have you been in the position for?
Roughly almost a year now.
Okay, roughly a year. All right. So, to you, Mr. Jefferson S. Tucker.
Yeah, thank you, Damo. Damo is not wearing just a shirt, it's a suit.
Okay.
I saw him before he entered the studio.
Hey, Jamo talking to like wearing suit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You won't announce your suit and you want me to praise your suit. By the way, your suit is nice. But when I come to Liberia, none of you, not a single one of you, I have a special designer in Liberia that's been doing my suit.
Everybody here is suit.
Yeah, okay. Thanks so much for the invite. I'm Jefferson S. Tucker. My name is misspelled is Tuiker.
Okay.
I'm Jefferson S. Tucker, National Youth Chairman of the National Patriotic Party Youth Council.
All right. You're welcome, Mr. Tucker. So we can just.
How long have you been in the position?
I've been in the position because I came to the position by a Senate clause, so almost 2 years now. Yes, 2 to 3 years now.
Okay, let me start with Brother Augustine Capet, the National Vice Chair, Finance. Brother Capet, we see a resolution from your National Patriotic Party signed by over 1,000 individuals, reaffirming their commitment not only to the party, but also making sure that the world, including our country, gets to understand that the national chairman of the National Patriotic Party is and remains James Barney. Am I correct?
So, yes, indeed, Senator Barney is the national chairman of the NPP, constitutionally and legally elected at our convention in line with the party constitution. In our party, we have 2 sets of officials. We have officials for 4 years, which include the national chairman, all the vice chairs, and the treasurer. It's a 4-year tenure. And then the next is 6-year tenure, which include the Steno Bearer, the Secretary General, and the entire Secretariat. So Senator Barney was elected for his second term, of which his tenure of his second term will expire in 2026. constitutionally. So based on that, Senator Bani is the national chairman of the NPP. Last week or 2 weeks about ago, the faction of VP Taylor held a meeting on the 17th of this month, and in a word, expelled the national chairman. With that, the Palestinians, the grassroots Palestinians, who are different charge, who have not benefited from the resources, have not benefited from what they have worked for, gather throughout the country, and what about 1,121 person needs as a resolution informing the world, the country, that Senator Bani is the national chairman of the party, and there is nothing can remove him except through the constitutional means. So in our party, we have ways in which people are removed. 2 ways. In line with 6.1, it outlines how official, not only the chairman, but all elected officials are removed from the party. That means 60% of those who elected the official should initiate a written communication. It has a process. So it's not a process in which one person will just wake up and say, oh, day is done. No. So Bani is still the national chairman of the party in line with the constitution, and that's why we have come to clarify to the world and also those in radio land and our policy throughout the country to be aware that Senator Bani is still the national chairman of the party as the by the constitution, in line with the constitution and with the resolution.
Thank you very much. Let me go to Tucker. Tucker, you heard what the vice chair said. We're not going to play with that because he quoted constitutional provision and ways the manner in which a person in the executive position of the party can be removed. Tell me, why you, national chair, the youth making of the greater portion of the party, have decided not only to sign this resolution, but to ensure that the illegal removal of the chairman is erased?
Okay, again, I will say thank you, Fagon, and to say to you, Damo.
Honorable Fagon, Mr. Vice Chair.
Sorry, Chief. Honorable Fagon. Former Deputy Minister, the Minister of Information.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Like I said, and I will always say it everywhere I appear, every political party that is established and being recognized by the National Election Commission, that political party is a government in waiting automatically. Anytime it comes to power. So if you serving in the position as an official or a standard bearer of that particular political party, you are under the binding responsibility to respect your party constitution as a state person. Because if you cannot respect the party constitution, that's indicate to the public that you will never ever respect the Liberian constitution if you are given power. We all have been around either in or out of Liberia, and we have been following the stories of Madam Taylor, how she have conducted herself over the years. All right? Fagon, you were here as a deputy minister, and you saw how Madam Taylor have carried herself. You cannot be a standard bearer of a political party and you don't respect the party constitution. You wake up one morning, you increase the National Executive Committee from 42 all the way to 82 persons. She don't respect the constitution. All right? Before we reach to this point, I must say this, because you talk about signing the coalition document. Before we reach to this point, we never had a thought about refusing to sign the coalition document. We all sat down together and we said the way we went to the coalition 2017 and the way the MPP policy was treated, We cannot repeat that. We cannot do business as usual. This time around, we should put pen to paper to document and to put something together that will benefit the NPP people. And we went ahead, we did that. The LPDP did the same. The NPP did the same. They call it the framework documents. And I guess the Congress of Democratic Change at the time did the same. After we put these documents together, it needed to be signed by the three political party officials, senior officials, which is the standard bearer of NPP, the chairman of NPP, and the secretary general of NPP. The same go to the other two political parties. Before signing this document, we request to the president, Mr. President, we're still willing to work with you to make sure you get to be re-elected. But we need to have a conversation around the table as to the governance issue of the country. We see a lot of missteps. For a country, for a government to proceed for more than 1, 2, 3 years, no reshuffle, things are happening on our watchful eyes. Certain professional people were targeted and killed, whether it is from within government or not. But these things need to be rectified. So we need to sit around the table to have this conversation. The president said he cannot say to anyone, we should go and sign.
Let me hold you there before we go into the long story. Now that you know that Chairman Barney has been expelled by a faction, and I will say a minute faction because I know the facts. Let me ask you before I go to the vice chair. You are the national chair of the youth, and they make up the vast majority of the party. You heard this, you know it's wrong, you've gotten a resolution. What are you guys going to do as youth were in the party, knowing that, number one, your party was hijacked and given to the coalition without your approval? Number two, that your party chairman has been expelled. You are the leader of the youths within the party. What's you and your people trying to do now? What are you guys going to do?
First if I go, the Joel Fashion, the George Mobile, the Andrew Peter, including Madam Taylor, they don't have no legal basis to expel Chairman Barney. So that is bogus. I don't want to consider that. All right. I have sent a message across the country to the young people that they have the integrity to protect. They have the future to protect. So what we decide to do, they that believe in President we should stay to President we are. We have not been battling with them. We that believe that we cannot be into it, we have withdrawn our support for them. And we are with Barney. With subsequent time, we will declare our support. I personally have withdrawn my support from the coalition. I remain an official of the NPP, but I have withdrawn my support. So we are with Chairman Barney. In subsequent time, we endorse our candidate. I will believe that can better represent the country as president of this country.
Do you have the vast majority of the youth with you?
Of course. I have almost all the vice chair. I have few youth or county chair with me. Some of them will go to them because of little cash. But the one that have been professional over the time that have conducted themselves properly have been relating to me and we're talking. And with time, when we're doing our endorsement, you will see all the guys on the stage along with me.
Thank you. Let me go over to the national vice chair. You are in the higher echelon, and you are there with a cup. You're not the national youth chair, here's my vice chair. You are actually the vice chair next to Chairman Barney. How many other vice chairs are with you?
Well, we have the national treasurer, Ronald Cooper. We have, I didn't sign the framework document. We have also Charlene Taylor, vice chair, national vice chair for the party. She didn't also sign the document. We have also Mayango Francis, who didn't sign the documents, and there are so many others. Well, this is what I want to say. Like our founding father, former President Taylor used to say, Liberia is a country of laws. Our party is governed by a constitution, and it's based on the constitution on which the party functions. anything outside of the Constitution is declared non and void. In our party, Article 3, Section 3(2)(c) clearly state the membership of the executive committee of the party, 53 persons, in line with the party constitution. And when Madam Taylor increased the staff from 53 to 80, 82 is outside of the constitution. So they are functioning, carry on having executive committee outside of the constitution, means that they do not respect the constitution.
So you are suggesting, let me hold you there. You are suggesting that in order for Jewel to have carried out her sinister plan, she added another 30 persons to the executive committee outside of the constitution, so as to use the 30 persons to sign on the coalition document. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So
that's some serious allegation.
Yeah, presently she has now 82 executive committee members. But we are not concerned about that, because that is also the constitution. Remember now, Honorable Falcon, the matter has gone to court before. And at the Supreme Court, there was a ruling which prohibits the vice president from interfering with the day-to-day running of the
party. Yes, that was the ruling.
That ruling was done. And everyone in this country is aware. But contrary to the Supreme Court ruling, or refusal to abide by the Supreme Court ruling, she feels that, quote unquote, maybe the party belongs to her, and she wants to run the party the way in which she wants to. So she want to run the party, and Chairman Bali is a legal person who based on the constitution. So the refusal, the problem in the NPP is the refusal to adhere or to abide or to obey the constitution. So they are operating outside the constitution. So they have 80 plus executive committee members who they are parading with as committee members, taking action outside of the outside of the constitution, and the thing that no action be banning. The first thing is who authorized, by who permission, by who authority the Anthony George Muniva become chairman of the party as he is claiming. In line with our party constitution, Article 5.1, it states that the national chairman is the one who convenes meeting, is the one who presides our convention by annual or national convention executive committee. He convenes meeting authorized the Secretary General to send out citation in line with Article 5.6 of our constitution. So if they call a meeting, if the vice president call a meeting, in such a meeting, and they declare that Anthony or Mulumba is the chairman of the party, it's illegal, it's Booker. Because who called the meeting? The constitution said the chairman should call the meeting. So what they are doing, they are executive committee, quote unquote, that which they have, they claim to be executive committee of the party, is a Booker executive committee. It's not in line with the party constitution. So
let me hold you there quickly. We've seen James Barney in studio. We've seen James Barney in Tottenham with JMB. Today, on the day of the International Drugs Day, we've seen James Barney seated, I think, at the left-hand side of former Vice President Joseph Newman Boakai. Right. The fact that you guys were treated, before I come to Jefferson Tucker, the fact that you guys were treated over the last 6 years in that way and manner, with the former President Charles Taylor, who's the founder, his children are in alliance with your faction of that party. Are we seeing the NPP for JMB? Are we seeing the faction called NPP for JMB? Is that something coming up shortly? There you have James Barney today. The Secretary General of Unity Party is standing directly behind him. The leader of the, I think, LPR or something, Magdala Cooper, is sitting to his immediate left. As you can see, they are directly with the Vice President. Should Liberians be gearing up for a majority NPP for JMB? Can you comment to that?
all I can say is that we are in communication, and at the appropriate time, as our chairman stated when he was in the studio, we make the pronouncement.
I
But like
will
he
still,
said, what we said, and we said meeting that the country need to be rescued before we can face it. The country need to be rescued, then we face it. And at the appropriate time, we make the pronouncement.
I see on your page over 1,000 people have signed that resolution just within the
Right.
space of 48 hours. It appears to me that you have the vast majority of the support from the NPP. Would I be correct to say so?
Or on the Falcon, we have the vast majority of the NPP. Let me go back and let me say this. We work over the years. Mind you, the coalition came about through the idea of Chemebani. When Mr. Mangio was chairman of what? Of the Congress. You know, Mangio came from the NPP. So that idea was brought about through Chemebani. Having cooperated with the Congress 2011 election, now you say, I think we can go into a full swing. So we came together. Many people didn't believe in the idea, but he pushed it. And at the end of the day, we worked hard, and then we won. With the expectation of the partisan that we have sat down for 12 years, and we waited. Now we have won. At least we have job to do. We have something to do for our people. Unfortunately, about 1.5% of the Palestinians are those who are employed. How many ministers do we have? NPP, who will represent NPP, who have been representing NPP for the past 5 years at cabinet meetings. So now you say, oh, you have vice president. But that's not the issue. The Palestinians, different child, they have no job. So they are angry. How can we support a system? And we brought a system to power, and at the end of the day, we become like the doncher that face the road, but when the road is completed or the business say, don't pass this way. So we had a vast majority of our Palestinians. Remember the last time you saw the Napa, they come their support, they turn their back. So through all the county, go to Grand Crew now. Where before people say, oh, this, well, Grand Crew begin to realize that no, our Palestinians say no. What have we gotten? The issue, what have we gotten that will make us to continue to support? So like the chairman said, there are 3 groups of people. You have the tribalist people who feel that all these are countrymen, they will meet there, fine, everything's for okay. Those who lacking, whether the country go down, okay. Those who are benefiting from it, all right. But for the NPP, the majority of the partisans, presently they are listening to us throughout the land and breadth of this country, and they are with us. They are not going to go behind them. They're not going to follow them. So they are with
All
us.
right.
And where the chairmen go, they are going because the chairman is the chairman who have been in the interest when the NPP was down. When the NPP went down, the people know about NPP. But the chairman stood strong, tall, and he worked hard. That today NPP is being heard about. Many of the people in NPP today who causing noise around, they left the NPP. In line with what we are saying here with what they call the book of constitution. Don't forget on the Falcon, 2017, on George Muniba supported on Obaka. Did the party expel him? No. Party didn't expel him. He was vice chair for administration. After the election, he came back and he took a post. And it was Sandro Johnson. He went with AG. He was supporting. Also, the party did not expel him.
Yeah,
On
I
Andrew
remember
Peter,
that.
he went on Andrew Peter also with United Party. Also, the party didn't expel him. So what they are doing is witch hunting. And we are saying, look, NPP, we are a family. Despite our political differences, we are family because the party is a revolutionary party that gives a revolutionary background. So we cannot fight one another. Why
Thank
we
you.
decide, okay, you believe so, go your way. We don't believe so, we stay this side. Until then, we come together. But do not come after us. Because if you want to come after us, we are talking because they are coming after us. If they are not coming after, we're not going behind them or follow them. But if they come after us and I heard it, say that if we come out, the chairman can speak, they will take legal action. If they go to court, who will be affected? They are going to be affected. All that they are done is illegal. Our
Thank
National
you.
Election Commission and our National Election Commission, we have written before, the chairman has written before and informed the National Commission, and the National Election Commission does not recognize George Munuwa as the national chairman of the party. All he is doing, he's just parading himself, but he's not recognized by Election Commission. I challenge him to show any
Thank you.
document.
Let me go to Jefferson Tucker. Jefferson.
Yeah.
Same question. You control the youth. We've seen polls after polls after polls. And all we see most of the time is young people gravitating towards the former vice president. Let me ask you this. Should we be looking forward to an NPP for JNB?
In a soon possible time, something is in the pipeline. The socialist people can see something is cooking. So cooking something very, very heavy. We have been working on it for the past time. I personally have withdrawn my support from the coalition and I pledged my support to Bwaka. But the part that you speak on as to if the MPP for Bwaka is on the line, yes, something working on something in a soon possible time for now. You will see our men outside, or the people that believe in us will be outside there. And Fagon, in political party, these things happen, right? Honorable Fagon, in political party, these things happen. There are some young people that does not protect their integrity. They settle for little cash. All right. So Madam Taylor is using the opportunity to disobey cash and induce people to be around her. You saw the two boys. One of the boys that went to the two boys, in fact, that went to Senator Prince Johnson Church. I recruited them. The Jimmy Toby. I recruited Jimmy Toby. I brought Jimmy Toby to the MPP 2019. I brought Jimmy Toby. The Peter Bleedy, I brought him. Those guys decide to follow little cash, and do what they do, So that should tell you that Madam Taylor support violence.
Did you hear of Madam Taylor rewarding him for raiding Prince Johnson's service?
Yes.
Asking that he be appointed.
A deputy assistant controller at the Ministry of Lands and Mines. I heard about it. I haven't seen no document. Somebody told me. I said, of course, I expected that because I got a communication in my phone that somebody sent to my phone a few times back. She said she had noticed the attack. She said that the attack was necessary. The attack to Senator Prince Johnson Church was very necessary. But Fagon, you should know that Madam Taylor doesn't respect people that stand up for the right. All right.
Let me hold you there. Since you are National Youth Chair, have you spoken to Andrew Peters, the Secretary General?
Andrew and myself talked I think about a month ago, and we just talked briefly. And since then, we have not yet exchanged any message or conversation. But when the thing happened at Prince Johnson Church, I condemned it. I wrote a communication. I condemned it, and it was published. I condemned the other at Prince Johnson Church.
Let me ask you this. That's the communication right there. Are you aware that he's been rewarded? That Andrew Peter has given up his political ambition of becoming a senator in Riverside, and have accepted.
Yes, I heard about it because
an appointment at National Identification Registry as the boss.
It is individual right to accept such, right? But I would say to you, those are the things we were saying. For us, that's that way. On our banning, we knew that going to happen. We saw it coming. We knew exactly that the coalition was never going to support Andrew Peters. We told him to get out of there. That place is messing up. They will induce you. They will use your hands against what we fought for over the time, and they will not support you in Riverside. He didn't believe it. What we told you at the time, he didn't believe it, but he has seen it for himself. 4 months to us beating the coalition flat down. That's the time you take the job. You get only 2 to 3 months to be there. Because obviously, Ottawa election will defeat the coalitions. And a few things I want to speak to, Honorable Fagon.
Go ahead quickly.
When you were deputy minister in this country, Because I guess you were deputy minister when the June 7 protest took place.
I was
That
the
was
deputy minister. I was the
very
deputy
cool.
minister.
You aware that President Weah instructed his deputy, which is Madam Taylor, to go receive the petition from Costa and his people. You aware that she refused the instruction from the president, right?
She said she was sick.
Did anybody expel her from the MPP?
No.
You aware 2020 senatorial election that she supported Manipaka Demois in Bon County?
Yes,
Did
it's true.
anybody expel her? Did anybody expel her from the MPP? No.
No.
She turned her back on Thomas Father elections in Mossorado County and somehow supported Senator DeLong. Did anybody expel her? No. The same thing with Andrew Peter and rest of the guys. Why are they running behind Senator Barney? Are they feeling threat? Or are they afraid that Senator Barney, as much as he is not on the side and he on the side of other people, they will be defeated? Senator Barney is not coming back to them. They need to come. They need to wake up from their dream. We are not coming back to them. We don't believe in that lawlessness that they are carrying on. We don't believe that President Weah can conduct the country for the next six years. We don't believe it. So we will not support it. We have the line have been drawn. The bottom line here is they need to focus their attention on campaigning for President Weah. We focus our attention on campaigning who we believe can be president for this country. They should leave us alone. They continue to battle us. We'll drag them to the Supreme Court. All that thing they did with the coalition will bring it down, will tear it apart. They should focus their attention on what they're doing. They should stay to the side.
Hold your
We'll stay
thoughts.
to our
Hold
side.
your thoughts. Hold your thoughts. Let me go back to Augustine Capet. Brother Augustine Capet, National Vice Chair for Financial whatever. Let me ask you this. You believe that the country should be rescued before it can be fixed. There's only one candidate vying to rescue this country. And you're telling us that you're going to beat around the bush, beat around the bush, and beat around the bush. Why can't you be clear?
I think our position on the Falcon is clear, that in line with our philosophy and our belief, looking at where we are, looking at the country where we find ourselves, the country needs to be rescued before it can be fixed. So the first thing to do is to rescue the country.
Exactly.
If you have a child drowning in the water, the first thing you do is to rescue the child from the water. Take the child off from the water before applying first aid and then subsequently taking the child to hospital. So the very person is the child that is drowning and needs to be rescued. When rescued, then the necessary first aid and medical attention, which will stabilize her, will be applied.
Okay, let me ask you this. What's the strength of the NPP? In your estimation, what is the strength of the National Patriotic Party in terms of membership at this point?
Wow, we have a large membership. As you are aware, we are a revolutionary political movement, and we are structured throughout the length and breadth of this country. Every village you enter, you will find NPP partisans. And so the NPP party, we have a huge numbers of our supporters.
What percentage would you give to Chairman Barney if there was to be a split? If you're walking away, what percentage? I will put the same question to Tucker. If you're walking
90%.
away,
90%.
Honorable Tucker, you heard your vice chair that you
90%.
guys are walking away with 90% of the 90%. NPP.
Yeah, we are living.
Are you in agreement with him?
We are. Let me ask you.
Okay.
We are leaving a gap of about 8.5%, because 1.5% of the partisans are those who are presently benefiting. You have about 98.5% of the partisans who are disenfranchised, who are not benefiting anything, and who have decided to move on, to turn their back and seek new investment. Let me put it this way. Some people say, why are you people walking away now? Why can't you stay and face it? We are trying to face it. Our chairman have made a lot of effort, and all those who were there, even within the party, try to make an effort to solve the problem. Do you know why sometimes a man will marry to a woman or just walk out of the house, leaving everything, property, whatever with the woman, and walk away? He walk away because of he want peace in his life, right? So we have tried. So if you carry on as a businessman, you invested in a project, and if the project is not returning, no return is coming, and you are losing, you have to go back to the drawing board. What you can continue some project or to what to diversify the portfolio or to go into anything else. So political parties are established for the purpose one to what? To get state power, two, to empower the policy, three, to make the country a better place based on their philosophy, based on their principle, based on their belief. And if those fundamentals upon which the party is established, there is a breach and people cannot listen, then the action will be taken. No, where we are at a place where we need to define ourselves whether we are nationally patriotic citizens or we just want to be blindfolded and just allow the blind to lead the blind, and the Bible says the blind lead the blind, Jesus said, and they all will fall into the pit. We can do that. We
All
have
right, we're
decided
pressed
that
for time. We're pressed for time. Let me go back to Tucker.
Yeah.
Do you agree with him? And if so, tell me about what way, what means are you guys going to drive this huge crowd towards your rescue mission?
I agree with him 110% that we have the majority black. The simple reason we have the majority black is we went to the coalition not to be a spectator. As we campaign together, we should govern together. For the mere fact, when this government came to power and thought to exclude the MPP from the discussion that will govern the country, from the discussion that will bring about jobs and investment to the country, we felt that we cannot be a part. I personally told Senator Barney, I said, I cannot be a part of that thing. It getting messy. I want to leave. Well, you know, when you're a young man coming up, you should always have a guardian, and that person should guide you in your steps and manner in which you move. So I always want to hear him and tell him, all right, this thing is getting messy. We need to get out. Instead of talking, it will come a time. Once we cannot be there anymore, I will take you out. All right. So I definitely agree with him. When the time reaches, Honorable Fagon, for us to gather these numbers, we will put our ultimate best. We'll go across the country. I personally use my high-earned salaries, 2017, to campaign for the coalition. I will do the same for what I believe in because I move by my conviction. If I were a young man that can settle for cash, Madam Taylor received, I don't know what she received that money for, $75 million Liberian dollars she had it in your house, inducing people. If I were a young man that followed cash, I could have followed her to collect some of this money.
Whoa. I know we only got 5 more minutes here.
Collect some of this money for her.
But we heard there's 75 million before. And you people in the MPP, we're told, received the 75 million through the vice president. Did you or this vice chair, you the vice chair for financial stuff, did you get this money handy?
Concerning the money issue, it was on the 4th of February, the nomination process or nomination for the president at ATS. We had a meeting and we were informed by the vice president that there was some fund available for mobilization in the tune of 40 million Liberian dollars. And the chairman, in his response, said, the issue that affects the party is not fund for mobilization. 2 issues that are crucial. 1, for parties to have job. Two, for the leaders of the party to sit around the table with the president to be able to review to carry on a SWOT analysis, how we have ran the country from 2018 up to now, looking at our achievement, looking at our challenges, looking at our failure, and see how we can what? Improve. And in a way, he said, this receiving this money will result to a play for what? Pay.
Play for play.
Play for play. So therefore,
Pay for
the money should be taken back. And at that point, when people couldn't understand and there was a tussle, the chairman said, if that is the issue of the money for mobilization, then I cannot stay in this meeting and I won't sign the framework document. I'm working out. And we left the meeting, we came down, and the chairman held a press conference, and that's what it. But I know that the money didn't go through the account because the party has an account. If there was a form for the party, the money should have gone to the account, not to account to individual.
So that's why I'm saying you the vice chair for financial.
So let me just
hold on.
complete what I was saying.
Hold on, Tucker. You the vice chair for financial, whatever. Did you receive the money in the account or did you see it there?
No money went in the account and no money was brought to me. And I did not see the money. I only heard it was the pronouncement. But I did not see the money and the money did not go to the account.
Thank you. Tucker.
Yep.
Over to you. Let's get your final thoughts on the entire rigmarole. We know now for a fact that you guys have reaffirmed Bonnie as a legitimate chairman. In your closing, you got 2 minutes. Tell us what you have to tell us and speak to your partisans.
Okay, let me close this way. So, like I was saying, for Madam Taylor to receive $75 million, she came to the party to say 40 million.
Let's say LD.
Yeah, LD. 75 million LD when some of us were people that could settle for petty cash, who could have gone to her side and signed for it. But we believe Liberia first. We believe that we have better future. We believe that we should respect ourselves as professionals, even though we involve with politics. All right. So she can go ahead with whatsoever amount that she have to induce people. But this is my closing statement. Gentlemen under my voice that have served as NPP partisan all the time, ladies and gentlemen, the NPP have not benefited anything per our agreement from 2017 to 2023, including the framework document that we took our time to put our ideas together and we carve and we send it forth to the president to recognize that document and make impact on it. The president up to this time has not recognized it. I'm calling every one of you to disembark that fight, to disembark from the coalition. This government do not mean well for the Liberian people. We should not be a part of something that is messy. The NPP have had a lot of challenges all the time defending our party all the time for us to get involved with another messy thing. We should not follow the lawlessness of Madam Taylor and her followers. Let us disembark. The president do not mean well for the NPP people. He didn't mean well for the Liberian people. So we cannot be involved. And those of you that believe that the way to go about is with the coalition, we ask you to leave us alone. We don't believe that we should be there. What you guys doing is not right. You guys are destroying the party, and you guys will be on record tomorrow, and fingers will be pointing at you people that you guys contributed toward destroying the party. With subsequent time, Honorable Bagon will declare our support. I personally have given my support to Honorable Bouaka, and I believe rest of the partisans that have disembarked from supporting President Weah will definitely go our way. Thank you.
Thank you for having you. Your final word, Mr. Augustine Capet, National Vice Chair, NPP.
Honorable Falcon, I would like to say thank you for the invite. I would say thanks to our brothers in studio, Damon and his friend. My final word is to our partisans throughout the country. I would like to say thank you very much for signing this resolution of 1,021 Palestinians, men and women who have signed the resolution, affirming that Senator Barney is still the legitimate and constitutionally chairman of the party. I would like to call on our Napa throughout the country to know that this fight or this journey is not about ourselves. I would like to call on the women wing. I would like to call on the youth and all auxiliary and members of the party that this journey is a journey for Mama Liberia to rescue this country and then face war this country. So every one of you on our voice that are listening to us, Palestine, all around, we want to urge you to continue to fly the pepper breast high in the villages, in the towns, in the cities, in the street, in your home, in your community. That NPP is not dead. NPP is alive, strong, under the leadership of Honorable Senator J.P. Barney as the national chairman of the party. And the party will continue to flourish, and the sky will not be even a limit for the party. I want to say thank you for inviting us to look forward to you or coming back here the next time. God bless you. God bless NPP, and God bless Liberia.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless Damo too. God bless Damo too. God bless Damo too. Thank you, gentlemen. It was nice having you. We will now proceed to have our second guest, second batch of guests in the studio. Our second batch of guests is from the All Liberian Party. And again, we have similar scenario. They both have resigned the National Youth Chair as well as the National Vice Chair or President. So whatever the case be, the guys are taking their seats. We'll go to Damo for what's cooking around you, Damo.
Well, I've just been listening, and the NPP is in similar situation as the LP, the Liberty Party, where we see deflections, people moving from one end to the other, people are abandoning ship. And we'll see a lot of people abandoning ship, not just from the NPP or the LP, but from other political parties as well. We've seen that affect the UP as well. So as we get closer to the main event of October 10th, you listen to the National Vice Chair on finance and investment, talking about some of the reasons political parties are established. And one of those reasons is the issue of empowering partisans. All I heard from the NPP folks here today is the fact that they felt abandoned and they invested in a venture they didn't benefit from duly, according to their own, revelation here on the show this evening. So had they benefited, had they been fair and square from what they signed, calling a spade, they wouldn't be talking what they're talking now. And the second part is they're talking about constitution being abused. That is not adhering to the rule of law. So they have also said here on the show openly that the second reason for them deflecting, is the fact that rule of law is not being honored in their party. People are asking, why now? Why now? Why now? Why are you leaving now? The question is, why not now? If you realize that this is not working and you want to find yourself a new home and you welcome in a particular home, then why not now? Yeah. So we have the folks from the ALP getting settled in, so you can
and let me say this though, because when they say we have not benefited as a party from anything, you heard a guy say about 1.5% of the total party are the only ones benefiting or have been maybe higher at low levels. He asked, do we have any minister in the government? Do we have anything in the government? You went to a coalition, only 3 political parties. You won. In order to govern, you are just thrown to the curb. Like you don't have any professionals in your party. It was sickening. And he made reference to the killing of the auditors and other misapplication of good political governance as part of the reason. But I think what struck me the most was the 75 million Liberian dollar, 40 million of which was received. And it did not go to the party coffers. Instead, the political leader sat in her living room, and I can say it's confirmed because we know it to be a fact. I know it to be a fact. And she distributed the money. And it's almost like the entire MPP is saying, well, you go ahead now. Saying you finish with all the money, issue you and the poor who took the money, y'all could on the coalition. But Diamond, before we bring in our guests, let me say this to you. I serve in the government. The initial stage, in all fairness to President Weah, he gave the LPDP few ministerial posts and the NPP few ministerial posts. And you know what their leaders did? It was like me, my family, myself. Why am I saying this? We have to be balanced in our reportage. Madam Jua Howard Taylor took her brother, sent him to LEC. Took her sister, Nobu Howard, and sent her as deputy minister to health ministry. Took her aide in her house and made her superintendent of Bond County. I can go down the whole list of the people Jua Howard Taylor appointed. They were barely NPP partisans. So, on the one hand, it's how she ran the party. And so you have what you have today. But it's 12:18. Let's go to our next group of people and folks. We are broadcasting on several radio stations, Fabric, Super, Spoon, several online platforms, Super Television or whatever you call it. You can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, wherever. But all of these things require support. And many of our followers have said to us, we should pin on our screen Zelle number, Cash App number, and mobile money number so that they can be able to chip in. We'll begin to do that going forward. But Diamond, if you're ready, you're going to welcome our guests again and do what you do best. Entertain, enlighten, and provide the news for our people. Reliable Info 360.
So once again, as you said, there are several stations relaying us, and it's not about saying, "Oh, you're suit fan," but then you go and you do nothing about making it official. What we mean by this is, if you are relaying our show, please let us know, because there is the issue of intellectual property, right. We're talking about this. We want the information to reach as many Liberians across the country and across the world as possible. But courtesy demands that if you relaying us, you let us know that you're relaying our content, and so we can as well be in the know and acknowledge your contribution. So to all stations, not just in Liberia, we have online TV platforms that are out of Liberia, that have a Liberian audience, that are relaying this show. Please, what you need to do is just reach out to us and let us know that you are relaying the show, and you give us the due courtesy as well. Once it's for non-financial, purposes. But if you're using it for financial purposes as well, we need to know so that we can know how we go about into having an agreement. So we opened to relaying us for non-commercial and for commercial purposes as well. If you're a business owner out there, this is a very, very big business opportunity for you to advertise your goods and services as well. Take advantage of advertising on Reliable Info 360. You can come at Spoon FM, our headquarters in Odes, Congo Town, meet with the business department, and we can have a conversation surrounding how your goods and services can be, placed in the promo aspect of this show as well. So we have our guests, our second batch of guests in the studio. They are formerly from the All Liberian Party. They were former officials of the All Liberian Party, the ALP, and we have them in the studio. We'll bring them on, right now, so that they can tell us why they're gracing the stage today on Reliable Info 360. So we have Mr. Mark N.M. Masakwe. He's the former National Youth Chair of the ALP. And we also have Honorable Patrick S. Fale. He's the former National Vice Chair for Administration, the All Liberia Party. So we have them here. Mr. Fagon, you can kick it off from here.
And it's important to our listeners to realize that they just resigned less than
Yes.
I don't know, less than a week ago, or maybe days
Yeah,
ago.
sure.
They just recently resigned. Let me welcome you guys to the biggest platform in the Republic of Liberia. Several television stations, radio stations, online platforms, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. The world is watching you right now. I'd like to welcome you, Honorable Patrick Fale, and that of Mark and Masakwe, both of whom are officials, former officials of the ALP who recently resigned from the ALP. Honorable Patrick S. Fale, correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me a little bit about yourself when you joined the ALP and why you decided to exit.
Thank you very much, and let me extend my sincere gratitude to the Spoon Network and those listeners that continue to be under the voice of the Spoon Network at about this time. And let me say good evening to all of our people that are listening to us, followers, and former member of the All Liberian Party, and colleagues and friends and members. My name is Patrick S. Fale. I'm, I'm the former National Vice Chair for Administration for the All Liberian Party. Basically, at the All Liberian Party, I was responsible for the internal running of the party and making sure that logistics and facilities and the 15 political subdivision of Liberia that are offices that are under the All Liberian Party function well. And I have a little political history. I came from the Progressive People Party. Firstly served as Assistant Secretary General for Press and Propaganda for the Progressive People Party under the late Councillor Chai Chipo, and later became the Acting National Secretary General for the Progressive People Party under Chairman William Gibson. I joined the All Liberian Party in 2017, providing an advisory role to the district leadership at the district number one. And based upon my performance, I was then asked to serve in the capacity as the national the vice chair for planning policy and implementation at the level of the county leadership. And then based upon our performance in December, we went for a convention, and my colleagues from the All Liberian Party deemed it necessary to elect me overwhelmingly, 90 plus votes. I mean, the highest vote ever in the history. 96. Thank you for the correction. 96 votes, the highest vote ever in the history of the AOP, especially in the second convention. So that is Patrick Fale. I'm a politician and emerging policy expert. And thank you for the invite. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You seem to have a very impressive political resume. Howbeit, you ran the engine of the party. Now that you are out, I'm afraid that engine will be dead for some time, if not forever. Let me go over to Mark N.M. Masakwe, former National Youth Chair, who recently resigned. Mark, welcome to the program. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your sojourn within VALP.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Eugene Fakon. And let me begin with extending a bigger thanks to the Spoon Network, Liberia, and the worldwide for this broad opportunity given me as emerging young political actors at this critical crossroads of our politics. And good afternoon to fellow Liberians, more especially the home audience base of the Spoon Network, and to all of the well-wishers Spoon Network. Good afternoon to all of you. By introduction, I'm Mark Namela Menti Massacre, a Liberian, humble son of Liberia, specifically Krendu from Nema County, from a little post Nema called Pabia Missouri District, falls into the Demosys. Nima County. And I have some deep political history, especially as a young man, ranging from students to politics. When I entered the United Methodist University at the time, I served as student leader for Nima Students Association there. I served as 60 Secretary General, and I rose to the Secretary General before I took a tour to La Cose, where I earned my associate degree in language art. I also founded a Nima student in La Cose, and I was the first person, the founding president in La Cose, Nima Student Association in La Cose at the time, around 2017, 18, 19. And I was one of the student they followed at the time for the form NUDP of Brent Johnson at the time. In my uniform, a 12 uniform 2010, the young man who loves politics so much to go to the pilot of the NUDP at the time. And to come in a nutshell to the ALP, after I was joining to the National Board of Politics, I joined the All Liberian Party 2019 in March, when my birthday was approaching. My brother has left me unceremoniously, being taken away by the cold hand of blood. The late Anthony Preston N.G. Kakazaz, one of the veteran student leaders of Nima County. When he left me around 2018.
Because of time, let's just go to the journey of the ALP strictly because of time.
Yeah, I was vulnerable. So I decided to choose a political home, and looking at the ALP having a pledge support to Boaka, GMB, the ambassador, I thought it was that the ALP was a safe political haven for me. So I joined the ALP 2010, and subsequently with my political commitment and way forward for the ALP growth, I was elected in a political arrangement with Siafa Kane at the time, a deputy vice chair for planning policy and research of National Youth League, Honored General Siafa Kane at the time, the former student leader from the SUP at University of Liberia at the time. Along the way, there were some contradictions between I and Siafa was as third person in command, was considered as the acting youth chair at the time around 2021. And it took me to a convention where he badged the record as the first ballot elected youth chair of the All Liberian Party, and second national elected youth chair of the All Liberian Party on December 30, 2022, right? 2022.
Yes.
When did you resign?
I resigned from the All Liberian Party the 20th of this month, June 20. June
Okay.
20 of this
What
month.
are your thoughts before I come back to you? Honorable Patrick Farley, National Vice Chair for Administration. The question now is not when did you resign? Why did you resign from the All Liberian Party?
Thank you very much, Minister Falcon. We, like Mark said, after the convention on the 30th of December, we decided to make a tour within the leadership of the All Liberian Party. The tour was also involving with the facility management, making sure to see what all have been left behind by the former National Vice Chairman for Administration for the All Liberian Party. We wrote a communication asking for 10 overload. We did not receive it. As of now, we have not received any 10 overload from that. So it became a concern. So I took to a consultative meeting with the national chairman on what do we do, where do we start from, because we do not have a 10 overload on what happened or what have happened in the past time. But fast forward, amid the political negotiations and political marriage or collaboration with the Unity Party, our political leader make it clear within the December convention, said that he had no interest in the presidency of the country. He will resign from politics after 2023. And later, to solidify that particular statement, he appeared on the Costa show uh, saying that he had no interest even in the vice presidency of the country. So it left the political actors of the AOP in political oblivion. We did not know exactly where to go. But judging into our own mind that the political leader have said it or since 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, that the AOP continue to support the presidency of Joseph Nyoman Boakai. For the remaining 4 months of elections, the AOP became silent. So I wrote a communication asking the National Executive Committee to invite request the sitting of the political leader, the standard bearer of the All Liberal Party, and the National Vice Chair for Political Affairs, Ms. Taylor Ure, to come and tell the National Executive Committee what happened with the political engagement or political marriage with the Unity Party. And so the political leader, the standard bearer, saw that as a disrespect. Handful of the National Executive Committee saw that as a disrespect. Why should I write the National Executive Committee to invite my standard bearer? The standard bearer is not talking to us. Since we came from the convention, we have not heard any executive meeting where the standard bearer will be present to tell me exactly as the admin of the party, the administrator of the party, so that we can order craft and draft the policy and the way forward of the All Liberal Party. Based upon that, the national chairman, Theodore Mobo Jr., established a committee to investigate my actions of writing a communication to see my political leader. And so that committee was established illegally against the Constitution. And I had the right to challenge it, but I don't want to see the AOP dragging into court and other issues. So based upon that, they went to a committee room and they came up with a verdict. And they went to, the executive committee meeting. They called for a meeting. Less than 10% out of the 36 plus national executive committee members, less than 10 executive committee members went to a meeting and they quote unquote make a decision. So based upon that, I saw it that the AOP was not a political terrain to listen to opinions and suggestions. I believe the AOP from that movement was a Ure dynastic. The AOP started going into dictatorship, where if you call for your national leaders to come to a court, to come and explain to us exactly where are we as a party, and because of that, you should be suspended. And so, based upon that, I turned in my letter of resignation.
I'm not going to ask Mark the same thing because I'm sure both of you are working together hand in hand. But Mark, you are the national, you were the national youth chair until about a week ago. Mm-hmm. Tell me, are the youth of the ALP, you being the leader, are they with you?
Okay, you're asking why did I resign from the ALP, right?
No, it's not why. We already know now. Because I'm sure you suffered the same fate with your colleague. I'm sure you suffered the same fate with your colleague. Can you hear me well? You seem to be having problem with your headset.
Mr. Fagon, the network is so bad. We hardly getting what you're saying in terms of understanding what you're saying. So you want to go a bit slow and repeat your question so that we can grasp what you're saying.
I'm asking him whether his people are with him. The youth of the ALP, the youth wing. Do you have majority with you?
Do you have the majority of the youth wing behind you, or you standing alone in your action, or you just have a minute portion of the youth wing behind you?
Oh, okay. For now, only I alone are resign. But majority of the young people in the cause for which I have resigned, they are in full support. Because I have resigned to stand by our commitment we made in my giving county on the 8th of October last year. I resigned so that our commitment to Liberian people through Boakai, that we are with him to the end of 2023 until Liberians are rescued from the hands of incompetent, grossly incompetent leadership in our cause, in our quest. I can assure you that the young people will remain fully. But for now, I'm the one that resigned because the process that led to the resignation was hardly political, and I needed to take a step so that I can pay away. And so you can call me John the Baptist for the young people in the rescue mission.
So I take it that you are on the rescue train. Am I correct?
We have been there. What we will do now is that a declaration of reaffirmation of our support officially, in which we are resigned to begin the process. Like I said, I'm the John the Baptist now, paving the way for people to come on board from the ALP. We have been there. We've been there throughout. As a matter of fact, we are traditional support of Boakai since 2017. But institutionally, the ALP faction, rescue faction, will be coming on board officially very soon. And that's why we resign to initiate. So the young people of ALP, I can call you all the names of the leadership of the Youth League. To you yet currently, I can tell you for sure that they are with us fully in this quest, especially when it comes to the rescue agenda.
My Honorable Vice Chair for Administration, will I be correct to say you are now moving towards the rescue train, or tell us something?
Well, you did not ask me how, why did I resign? You did not ask me that question. We'll give you some.
No, I will come to that because of time.
Scenarios that led to resignation is quite different from the this year scenario. So
I'm going to come back to you. Don't
okay,
rush,
no
because
problem.
Prince Johnson coming to look for you to go back to the MDR. So don't rush. Because if you support, perhaps Prince Johnson will take you into the MDR, which is now supporting the rescue train. But Patrick, I mean, are you on board the rescue train? If not, or if so, how do you intend to go about it? And how many people are you taking with you?
Thank you, Honorable Facon. I mean, that'll be clear here. The quest to redeem Liberia is in our hands. Making political decision to redeem the country is in our hands. And I would see no reason why that Patrick S. Farley will not support Ambassador Joseph Nyeman Boakai. For the fact that our former political leader was very clear to us. He said that he prefers supporting Joseph Nyeman Boakai because he's the well-experienced political figure within the country in the race right now. And then secondly, as a young politician, I believe that Ambassador Joseph Nyeman Boakai is the only political actors or political figure in the presidential race that has the experience, the credibility. One of the fundamental qualities of a leader is to be credible. And based upon that and so many other reasons, yes, Facon, I can say that we are preparing, like Mark said, a very huge and elaborate reaffirmation program. We don't want to say endorse because AOP was the first political institution to endorse Vice President Joseph Nyeman Boakai, and we continue the endorsement in Kakata City, and then we will continue as a former AOP member to reaffirm our decision in Kakata and the rest of the other places. The issue that has to do with so quickly, I'm on a rescue train. I don't want to use the word I am on. I'm reaffirming my commitment. You know, Facon, I came to the AOP with human magnet. I came to the AOP not just as an ordinary partisan or any ordinary national vice chair for administration. I led a national Ebola Survivors Network. It's a network of Ebola survivors across the country, over 125,000 people with their family members. And I came to the ALP with huge people's power, and I enjoy the flexibility and the power of the people. And so, if you ask me how many persons we are bringing, Falcon, as I speak to you, we have continuous meetings across the 15 political subdivisions of our country. There are counter officials that we cannot call their names here. I don't know, for political reasons. But
Yeah.
I can assure you that these people are on their way. There will be a lot of resignations. So if you ask me who am I coming with, we are coming with over 65% of the national executive of the All Liberian Party. I can assure you, mark my word for this. And we are also coming with 80% of the population of the All Liberian Party. And we can assure you, I mean, those are people who volunteer to the moving train. As a conductor, like you said, you are the only conductor of the train. We will get back to you in the sooner possible time to announce to you the date and the time and the venue of the reaffirmation. Because as far we are concerned, and you cannot tell me that that the cat is a black cat, and today you are coming back to me and telling me no, it's a white cat. We say no to Honorable Wilfred Bernard Ayure without due respect. That once you told us that Ambassador Joseph Nyamampuaka is the way for us to go, we remain patient and we will support the train. And on this platform, we will support Vice President Joseph Nyamampuaka for the presidency. Thank you.
Thank you. And you know what I like? I like the political savviness with which you came, both of you came. You went straight, you said, look, we're not going to endorse him. And that is, you guys do not want to be put outside of history as the first political party when no one was thinking about it. And I applaud you for that. You are only going to reaffirm, but you want history to be kind to you, that you were the first political party and the leaders to openly endorse Joseph Nyamampuaka, and you don't want that to be erased. In 1 minute, 30 seconds, Mark, tell us why you resigned. Your scenario of resignation.
Yeah, so let me just give a slant of it. The VC has said it all, basically, but to give you a slant of it. On the 28th, on the 27th of April, the announcement of Rescue 2 has been announced from the 15th of April and all the way to the 27th. I took myself and called the leadership of the young people at the party headquarters so that we can plan a way out for our presence at the naming ceremony at the party's headquarters. And so it was very successful. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I had in attendance 13 of the leaders of the Youth League, Secretary General, Vice Chair, and all of the leaders of the Youth League were in attendance. And so immediately after the meeting, General posted on my page that the National Youth League of all Liberian Party will be present, but 8 presence of the leadership at the naming ceremonies of Rescue 2. So General immediately
Well, we're losing you. We're losing you. We're losing you for some reason. Studio, are you there? Studio, are you there, Studio? I think the internet is bad at this point. I think the internet is bad. I am not, people are complaining that there's no sound. No sound. Okay, if you're just joining me and you can hear me, We're not getting any sound. Okay, Dama just informed me that they're off and they're trying to reconnect. And they're telling us that there's no sound from studio. So we will ask that you guys pause a little bit. The producer has just informed the co-host and anchor, Diamond Slanger, that there's no sound coming out of the studio. So we're going to try to connect.
You are muted?
No, you're not muted. We had a break in the transmission due to bad internet connection.
Okay.
So we're doing our best to reconnect. So to our online viewers, we are trying to reconnect. It's due to the internet connectivity. So he will just backtrack a bit on the story where we lost him, especially Mr. Fagon, where you lost him at. He can backtrack on the story.
I lost him at
this
where?
is beyond our control. This is totally beyond our control. We apologize. Yeah, so you're back on now. So Mr. Fagon, you can tell him where you lost him at so that he can reconnect from there.
I think I'm almost finished.
No, then you have plenty of the story you are explaining.
Okay.
So he will tell you where.
Just do it 30 seconds. I'm pressed for time. Dama is going to throw us out of the studio at 1 p.m. So just 30 seconds. Do something fast.
Okay. So he responded to me in the chat room that if I do not know a youth chair of the party that long term the ALP has foregone a question ambition in support of rescuing Liberia with Josiah Imam Bwaka, then of course I'm late. I should find somewhere else to sit. I said, Chairman, why are you telling me? In the EC chat room and the debate started. Are you telling me we have come this far and you guys have gone and concluded that the ALP is no more in support of the rescue mission? But Imam Bwaka? Is that what you're telling me? Then when following that same comment that if this is true, I want to believe that this was selfishly done. And besides, this sounds so like you are running a family club. General, immediately, Theodore Momo Jr. removed me from the EC chat room, and there the debate started. And from that time, we've been consistent with the debate because we did not hear anything from them. And there's so many issues. Costa came to Liberia, did not meet the issues of the party, but later on, we heard Costa on his show announcing to us that he met the political leader of the party, and they have concluded he accepted that he must go with JMB, or if JMB offers him the running mate slot, he will accept it. It's a due sound between he and the political leader. And they asked him on that same show, he said, on ALP ticket. How can that be? Costa had never, in fact, through our lives at ALP party headquarters and at ALP activities, we could not see Costa anywhere. But Costa is going on show that there is a conclusion that the ALP will be projecting him for running mate slot after he came here and declared his ambition for senatorial seat in most other county. What's a contradiction in a spirit of arrogance? And so these things, and there are many issues that led up to our resignation. And like I told you, these are issues that have never been in line with any of the young people. All of them, they are dissatisfied. And that is why we have come to pay a way for them. Because if we have left them, we are family to respect us. Because we were the toughest advocate for the rescue mission agenda in the ALP lastly, before our resignation. And so that is some of the reasons, the key ones that led to our resignation in a nutshell.
Well, thank you very much. You run the day-to-day activities of the youth in the from the ALP. What percentage are you bringing with you to the train, to the rescue train?
What?
Can you repeat the question again? We still faced with this network issue.
It's okay.
It's difficult to understand what you're saying.
All right. So I'm just going to go to Pache S. Farley for his closing quickly, and then we'll come back to Mark Masekwa. You guys got at least 2 minutes each to give us your closing and your thoughts on the political process. Mark, we'll close with you.
My closing on the political process.
Yeah, just close, and Mr. Fale will close as well.
Okay, thank you. I want to say thank you again to Liberian people. The All Liberian Party general membership in terms of the grassroots leadership is still in support, fully in support of the rescue mission and by Joseph Human Boakad and the president of Nima County, Senator Jeremiah Kmankun. We have promised our people over the years. We have sympathized with them. We know what they are going through, the groanings of our people in the day-to-day suffering of their life. And so the rescue mission, fellow Liberians, is the best way forward. Our father ambassador have proven all the year to be selfless. And as is a cliche in our national body politic in the corridor, he is a man of integrity. As a matter of fact, there's nothing you can find on him since then. They are low for also the only thing they have right now is to create a picnic, believing that he is an old man, and therefore, whenever the issue of death comes about, he will live and fall, and that's lie. Our father now is being protected by God, not just you, because God has positioned him and brought him to this level to redeem this country. And so the All Liberian Party will not betray the cause, will not go anywhere. We are with you. The National Youth League chairperson, former, we're speaking with you, is doing everything possible to bring on board. And that is why wherever we appear to speak on our resignation and on the way forward on the rescue mission, there'll be no young man from the All Liberian Party to come and debunk us in any way or anyhow, because they are with us. It's just a matter of time. They are coming on board so that all of us can get back this country in our hands to set a trajectory of an improved administration for our generation and above. So thank you. We are open to everyone, working with everyone to ensuring that this process is a one round, not second round. They are celebrating due to the success of our neighboring country, Malawi. But Malawi is different. Don't be deterred. JMB is your leader. JMB the next president. We are with you. We are coming on board very soon with a huge program that will be named Reaffirmations of the ALP Rescue Faction to the JMB JKUN Rescue Mission 2023. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. We'll go over to Honorable Patrick S. Fale. A lot of plenty of broke people in our ALP now, like the way you're living now, I think ALP will load an old flat tire. In 2 minutes, sir, we're pressed for time.
Thank you, Minister Falcon. I think Mark have said it all, but just to close, we are working behind the curtain, behind the scene, making sure that our reaffirmation program becomes a success. And we have had series of meetings in the 15th political subdivision where we have all of our aggrieved members. I can tell you, Falcon, if you just visit one or two ALP members, they will tell you exactly why it said that the party remains silent, continue to remain silent. And they are saying even if the party comes out now to endorse or reaffirm the political engagement with the United Party, will be a charade, because we know exactly what is happening in the ALP. We can assure the Boaka team, the people of the United Party, that we are on the train and we're working together to make the country a serious country where investors will come. They will not be afraid of investing their money. We want to work along with the GMB team and all of the faction from the All Liberian Party, former members of the All Liberian Party who left in similar manner. We are reaching to all of them and making sure that we make the reaffirmation program a success. Thank you for having us. We will always be around. Thanks to the Spoon Network for having us. But we are on the train. GMB is the next president of the particular country. Take it to the bank.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Diamond. Thank our guests. Guys, I will have you guys back here soon. The latest info I got, just so Diamond, you know, the gossip in the corridors is that Costa has told many friends that he will be on the ARP ticket, and he is now soliciting Jonathan Bochars Sibwe as his VP pick. I don't know how true that is, but all of these news coming in on Reliable 360, we gave you factual information. We told you NPP people had resigned. They had a resolution. NPP had a resolution. We brought the people here with the resolution. ARP resignation and that statement. We brought them in the studio. We don't thrive on rumors, but we're hearing these things. We're hearing them, but we will bring them to you. Diamond, let me ask you quickly, what did you take from the two distinguished gentlemen in studio? Like I did the first time, I still ask you to.
So what I took from them is agreement are agreement. That is what I took from them. From what they said, they were presented a candidate. Their party was the first to have endorsed this candidate based on his integrity level and his leadership experience, and hence they had already gravitated to that particular candidate. And the party, according to them, is not the personal property of the founder or somebody who's the prominent, person within the party. There should be laws. So they share the same issue of going by the laws of the party or the constitution, as the same as the NPP folks that were here as our first batch this evening on the show. So they've said, they also have said, the law is the law. So once you can't follow the law, then they cannot form part of any political arrangement that will need, follow the laws that are set down. So they are now still with the conviction that Joseph Human Boyka is the best choice when it comes to the presidency in Liberia, and hence they stuck with their gun. They also spoke about integrity, that if their integrity comes under the question, or the integrity of the party is being questioned, and people cannot ask questions, it's more like a dictatorship according to them. You cannot differ in opinions. Then what is the essence of being in such a political party or holding positions as such? But the bottom line of all of this is interest is what has come to play. Interest. According to them, there is the interest of the few against the interest of the many. That's why I rest on this from what I told them.
Yeah, but anyway, we're almost at the 1 minute mark. Let me just in my closing say I want to thank the former vice president. Something he did today that is profound, something our president should have done, or maybe our vice president should have done, or the leader of the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency. It was a colossal failure on their part to recognize National Drugs Day, the International Drugs Day, and to see Honorable Boakai having to play the role of these people. He had to step in and speak on this day. Look at the amount of journalists in the room. Look at the amount of people. It is as if President Weah have said, Old Man Joe, you are now the next president, start to lead. Our country, $100 million worth of drugs. Just 2 months after that, another $40 million worth of drugs. We need a statesman. And I will say to the ANC or CPP, to Dr. Moniba, to others, we're not going to beg you for your little video clips, but if you send them, we on Reliable 360 will play it. I'll always love to close with the video from the White House.
Liberia. His Excellency Joseph Numa Boakai Sr., Vice President of the Republic of Liberia.
Well, Diamond, there you have it. Until we meet again tomorrow, my friend, you take it over and do what you do best as the best. You say I should say one of the best, but I stand by my statement and I'm ready for a debate. Bring your people and let me debate. That's for now. You are the best in the country behind the microphone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Fagon, as well. And thank you to all of the folks who took their time up to view us, watch us on Spoon TV Live, and also those listening across the Spoon Network. Will be back on tomorrow again with another full edition. We're done with the pilot mode. What you just saw and what you just watched is a full edition of Reliable 360 and Reliable Info 360, I should say. And we'll be revolving this show to make it even better with every edition that passes by. If you want to advertise your goods and services on this show, we open for advertisement and business opportunities. All you need to do is to reach here at our offices in Congo Town, and let's talk about how we can sell your goods and services as well. We open to all political parties. It's not a show that is limited or one-sided as well. So irrespective of the side of the aisle you find yourself, you can reach out to us and we'll definitely afford you the platform as well. To those who want to sponsor the show with their own, little financial contributions, these are the cash handles that you can use, to keep this show up and running. All right, so somebody says should send them a number. We'll see what we can do about that. But these are the handles so that we can keep the show up and running. Mr. Fagon, bye-bye to you. See you later
Bye-bye.
on
And
Spoon Talk.
don't forget Spoon Talk tonight at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
in Monrovia, 4 p.m. here in the United States with our gorgeous, phenomenal Dr. Francine Chino Richardson and sometimes the former CEO Stanton A. Witherspoon. We'll look forward to seeing you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.